Keith Stevens and Ryan Charwood, but they had an electrical problem on the warm-up lap, and they haven't made the grid. Amazingly, Alan Fownes and Shelley Smith is out-qualifying the Birchells on their 600. Phil Bell with Justin Sharp, always quick, and Phil Bell loves Cadwell, as indeed, in fairness, do most of the Sidecar competitors. But it was to be a 10-lap race around here in the sunshine, the crowd lining the banks of Cadwell Park, and Tim and Tristan Reeves doing their customary electric start away ahead of Alan Fownes. The 600s, of course, much slower off the line. The Birchells unable to get through on the inside. We were on board at that point with Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark making their way up through the grid as well. And Kershaw was very, very quick here, very quickly dispatched the 600 of Alan Fownes, then set off after Andy Peach and Ken Edwards, who also had a very good start on the Suzuki. Phil Bell and Justin Sharp, the next crew to go past the 600 of Alan Fownes, just as Steve Kershaw and Stuart Clark closed on the back of Andy Peach on the Santander Salt Suzuki. It wasn't long before Kershaw was through, and up into second place went the Flying Scots. Out in front though, Tim and Tristan Reeves, as Barry James and young Jack Tritton fighting through. Brian Gray and Jason Pitt had an off, but rejoined, having climbed back off the grass, as it were. Barry James has shown a real turn of speed this year and put it to good use, as you will see. The battle of the 600s very much alive, as into the lead of the Cup went Ben and Tom Birchall on the Mitchells of Mansfield Yamaha. Barry James, meanwhile, with Ben Holland and Tom Bryant standing in for the injured Stuart Ramsey. Ben Holland on the borrowed Suzuki of Rupert Archer following that huge Thruxton crash which completely destroyed the Hannafin Kawasaki. And as he shot past Barry James, let me tell you, the plan is for Ben Holland to inherit that bike, put the Kawasaki's in, and Rupert Archer will get a present of a new one from their sponsor. Isn't that wonderful, wonderful news for Rupert Archer and Ben Holland? And he was chasing on past the Birchells he went, but up the front, Phil Bell and Andy Peach were at it hammer and tongs, in fairness. But the ex-Sean Hegarty Suzuki of Phil Bell went through underneath at Park, and he was ahead, leading this terrific chase as Gary Bryan and Andy Peach also swapped paint. A little kiss from Gary Bryan as through came Barry James. He had a look at Andy Peach, but later in the race was to get a little bit overexcited going into Hall Bends. That sometimes happens there. The riders clipping the curb as they went, and that's exactly what happened. Kicked the sidecar wheel up. Barry James and Jack Tritton had to take to the grass. They were on the back end of that freight train and had it all to do again. But as you'll see, they did make some inroads. Andy Peach and Ken Edwards surrendering to Gary Bryan and Phil Hyde. So teammates certainly in terms of livery, this pair. Gary Bryan having a good ride in the championship. Ben Holland and Tom Bryant, the next crew to pass Andy Peach and Ken Edwards, who were by that time slowing slightly. Through went the Birchells. Ken Edwards looking over his shoulder. I think this could well have been some sort of race of attrition for Ken Edwards. It's tough, Cadwell Park. Barry James really, really charging through, having got past Alan Fownes, and then Sean Hilditch lost his son Anthony at Hall Bends, who went for a bit of a Swiss roll, ended up on the grass without injury. Checkered flag though for the Reeves brothers. Second place for Kershaw and Clark, and behind them the battle raging furiously was headed by Phil Bell and Justin Sharp, and he held it to the flag to claim a much deserved podium and third place. But Tim and Tristan Reeves march imperiously on to another 25-point maximum. Result then, there it is confirmed, against the backdrop of Shelley Smithers, Reeves brothers, Kershaw and Bell, that's the podium. Top Cup boys, the Birchall brothers, no surprise, but Fownes and Smithers beat Todd Ellis and Chaz Richardson into third in the 600cc class. Andy Peach dropped back to 11th overall, but that was about 7th in the 1000cc class. Blackstock Christie and Brian Gray, despite going on the grass, 14th place. He's had a good season, he and Alan Fownes together. But there's the podium, Reeves boys on top.